All right, hi everyone. This is our practice test for chapter 3. Um, in this test, basically, it has a lot of can you graph, can you solve, can you write a word problem, do you know where to shade? So that's basically what this entire test is about. So we're going to go through each problem, pause as you need to. All right, in chapter 3, the first thing I taught you is to solve systems of equations by graphing. So that's when we're looking for the intersection. So for both of these, I'm going to have lines, but I notice they are not in y equals mx plus b. So that's actually my first job. So this top one, I'm going to subtract x on both sides. And so now my equation is y equals negative x plus 6. My other equation also not ready to go. I have to divide by 2 on both sides. And so now my equation is going to be y equals 3 halves x plus 1. All right, so now these both equations are ready to go. The top one is telling me I'm going to start at 6, and I'm going to go down one, right one, down one, right one. Okay, these are graphs. Make sure you're making your graphs as nice as you can because your graphs gives you your answer on where they intersect. Okay, I'm connecting all of my dots. Notice these graphs don't have shading because we have equal signs instead of inequality signs. And now I'm going to start at 1, and then I'm going to go up 3, right 2, up 3, right 2. And when I go up 3, right 2, I see it hits my other line right away. And so we don't have to keep going. Okay. And it would appear it crosses here at 2, 4. You can certainly check your answer by plugging it back into the equation. And that is all we have to do for this problem. All right, so can you graph two lines and can you find where they intersect? All right, the next thing I did is I taught you two different methods to solve. Notice one of them says use substitution and one of them says elimination. So make sure on your test you do the one that I tell you to do. And then our next section is letting you decide which one you want to do. Okay, this one on the left, it says I'm going to use substitution. Reminder to use substitution, it either has to say x equals or y equals. Okay, I notice my equation says x equals on the bottom. So that means I'm going to take all of this and plug it in for my x here. So I'm going to say 3 times, and instead of x, I have negative y minus 3 minus 4y equals 5. Double check, do you only have y's? That means we are good to go. All right, so I'm going to distribute this 3. Careful of your negatives. So I'm going to have negative 3y minus 9 minus 4y equals 5. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add my 9's and get my y's together. So altogether I have negative 7y. And when I add over this 9, I'm going to have 14. My last step, I'm going to divide, and y is going to equal negative 2. Reminder, you're not done. We have to write this as an ordered pair. So I have to find my x. I notice this equation says x equals, and so I'm going to say x equals. Notice our y has a negative in front of it. So I'm going to have negative 2 minus 3. This double negative is going to turn positive, so we really have 2 minus 3. So x is going to equal negative 1. Again, leaving like this, I'd have to mark it wrong, so I need you to write this as an ordered pair. So we're going to say negative 1, negative 2. Okay, so that is substitution. Our other one, elimination, and reminder, that's when you're looking for a letter that has the same number in front. I notice I have these two positive 3y's, and so that means to get rid of them, I'm going to subtract them. So when I subtract them, I'm going to take 2x minus 5x, and I'm going to get negative 3x. I'm going to take 9 minus 9, and I'm going to get 0. And then I'm going to divide, and x equals 0. Reminder, that does not mean no solution. It means x is 0, and 0 is a number. Next, again, we have to find our y, so I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to plug into the top one. It doesn't matter which one we plug it into. So I'm going to say 2 times 0 plus 3y equals 9. The 2 and the 0 are going to cancel out or become 0, and I have 3y equals 9. Divide, and y equals 3. I'm going to plug this into our ordered pairs, so we have 0, 3. So tomorrow you have to be able to use substitution and elimination. Okay. All right, now in this next section, you get to decide what you want to do. I'm going to be honest, I know a lot of you are better at elimination, so that's probably what I would recommend. This top one here, I see I have a 2 here and nothing in front. So I'm going to take this top equation and multiply by 2. When I do that, I now have 2x plus 4y equals 16. I'm going to take these two, and since I have two positive 2x's, I'm going to subtract them. Watch out for your negatives. So what I have here is I have 2x minus 2x, canceling. I have 4 minus 4y, canceling. So on this side, I have left with a 0. On the other side, I have 17 minus 16, which is just going to give us 1. Now, all of my variables canceled, and I'm left with a statement that is false. So that means our answer is going to be no solution. Okay. If on your test you are left with something true, like 0 equals 0, reminder, you will write to me infinitely many solutions. So that's the difference between those two. All right, this other one, I'm going to assume a lot of us want to use elimination again. This time I see I have a 2 here and a 4 here, so I'm going to say a lot of us want to multiply this top one by 2. This new equation is going to become 4x plus 6y equals 18. So now I'm going to subtract. Again, watch out for your negatives. So I have 4x minus 4x, so our x's are going to cancel. I have 2 minus 6, so it's going to give us negative 4. And watch out again, I have negative 2 minus 18, so I have negative 20. Okay, we're going to divide, and y is going to equal 5. Doesn't matter what equation I plug it into. No, I'm going to plug it in the top one. So I'm going to take 2 times 5. No, I'm not. We're finding x. I'm going to take 2x plus 3 times 5 equals 9. I have 2 times 5, which is 15. I'm going to subtract. I have 2x equals negative 6. We're going to divide, and x is going to equal negative 3. Reminder, do not write your answer like that. Our answer is going to be negative 3 comma 5. So tomorrow on your test, you're going to have one that tells you to use substitution, one that tells you to use elimination, and then you get to decide. All right, that is page 1. Pause if you need a pause. All right, on our next page, this is when we are doing our word problems. Reminder for our word problems, I need 2 variables, 2 equations, and 2 answers. And make sure we're labeling our answers, and make sure our answers make sense, because we're talking about word problems, so I can't have things like a negative dollar bill or 0.2 of a dollar bill, okay? All right, in this problem, it says we have a handful of quarters and dimes for our piggy bank. It says we have a total of 8 coins, and it totals out to be $1.55, and we want to know how many of each coins we have. So it keeps talking about our coins, so I'm going to say X is going to represent our dimes. Y is going to represent our quarters. Reminder, in our world of money, dimes are 0.1 and quarters are 0.25. Okay. Next, I'm going to write my equations. Reminder, you're going to use each number once. So I'm going to say I have 8 coins altogether. So I'm going to say x plus y equals 8. So we are not going to use the 8 again. The other one's going to be my money equation. So I know my dimes are worth 0.1, so I'm going to say 0.1x. My quarters are worth 0.25, and altogether I have $1.55. Okay, now it's up to you what method you want to use. I personally, for these problems, I like to use substitution. So I'm going to take that top equation there, and I'm going to subtract x. So that means this equation is now going to become y equals 8 minus x. So now whenever I see a y in my next equation, I'm going to plug in that 8 minus x. So I'm going to have 0.1x plus 0.25, and instead of y, I'm going to have 8 minus x. Okay, now we're going to do what we did on the last page. I'm going to distribute that 0.25. I'm going to just write down this problem, I guess. So I'm going to have 0.1x. I'm distributing, so I'm going to have 0.25 times 8, which is 2. That 0.25 to this negative x, so I'm going to have negative 0.25x equals 1.55. I'm going to subtract the 2 over, combine my x's, so I'm going to have negative 0.15x equals negative 0.45. Okay. Our last step is we're going to divide, and x is going to equal 3. Now take a moment. Does our answer make sense? Reminder, x represents dimes. Can we have 3 dimes? Yes, that answer makes sense. I'm going to write it up here. So that means our answer is 3 dimes. Now reminder, we had a total of 8 coins. So if I take right here 8 minus 3, that means we have 5 quarters. Notice I'm properly labeling my answer, and that's what will get you full credit. So define your variables, write 2 equations, solve, and label your answers. Okay. All right, let's move on to our next word problem. Now I'm going to change the wording just to make it a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so we are building Legos, and we have different sizes. So we have one that's 2 by 4 and one that's 2 by 8. I'm just going to change this to, this is our smaller one, and this is our larger one, just to make our wording just a little bit easier so we don't have so many numbers in this problem. All right, so our small bricks are $1, our large bricks are $3, and we have a total of 60 bricks that cost us $140. And we want to know how many of each one we have. So I'm going to say X represents my small, which cost us $1. My Y's represent my large, which cost us $3. So all together we have 60 bricks. So I'm going to say X plus Y equals 60. Notice, don't use 60 again. Our other one is going to be our money equation. So I'm going to say 1x or just x. So we used our 1. Our y's are worth $3. So we used our 3. And all together they cost us $140. Okay, so we use each of our numbers once. Now this one I see I could very easily use elimination because both my x's are 1x's. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to subtract them. So my x's cancel. I have 1y minus 3y, which gives me negative 2y. I have 60 minus 140, which gives me negative 80. I'm going to divide, and y is going to equal 40. Now, does our answer make sense? Can you have 40 Legos? Yes, that makes sense. So reminder, y represents our large, so I'm going to say 40 large. And then reminder, all together we had 60 Legos, so that means all together, to get 60, our other one has to be 20. So I'm going to have 20 small Legos. Okay. All right, so tomorrow on your test, can you write me 2 variables? Can you write me 2 equations? Can you solve it? And make sure you label your answers correctly. We're going to skip number 8 because you don't have a problem like that on your test, and I don't want to waste our time. All right, so here we go. All right, now this section is where we are doing our graphing and our shading. I'm just going to do a quick remember. This right here means we have dashed. This right here means we have solid. This right here means we shade above. This right here means we shade below. Okay, so we're going to need that for this whole page. Number 9, I want everyone to notice both of those equations are linear equations. So both of these are going to give me lines. This one, on the other hand, I see that top one's a linear equation, so that's going to give me a line. But our other one has absolute values, so that means it's going to give me a V. Tomorrow on your test, if you have lines on everything, it means you've done something wrong. Our top equation is ready to go, but our bottom equation is not. Does everybody notice we need to add the 2x? So now I have positive 2x plus 9, and I need to divide by 3. So now I'm going to write this over here. So our new equation is going to be y is greater than 2/3 x plus 3. Okay, So both of these equations are ready to go. Reminder on these, our double shaded area is where we find our answers. All right, I'm going to use blue for this one. All right, so this one is telling us we're going to start at 4, and then we're going to go down one, right one, down one, right one, down one, right one, down one, right one. Excuse me. Our symbol there is telling us we have a solid line, and it's telling us to shade below. Okay. Our other one is telling us after we changed it to start at 3 and to go up to right 3, up to right 3. I hope your guys' graph looks better than mine. Oh, that's rough. And it means they're going to have a dashed. And it's telling us we are going to shade above. So that's going to be up over here. Okay. Reminder, this area here, that's our double shaded area. So that's where you would find our answer. Okay. All right, our next one, we've set it as a line. It's in y equals mx plus b, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to start at 3, and I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. This one is a dashed line, and it's telling me to shade below. Okay. Now our other one, we've already said it's going to be a V. And the reminder, there's some things you need to write to me. Our 2 in front means I have a slope of 2. These two numbers, reminder, make your vertex, but this number here, I have to turn positive, or I have to flip the sign. So I'm going to have 2 comma negative 5. Okay. So I'm going to go right 2 and then down 5. So that's my vertex. And my slope is telling me to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And I have to make a V, so I'm going to go up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. Okay. This one is telling us we have a solid line, and we're going to shade above. So tomorrow on your test, you need to have one that has 2 lines and one that has a line and a V. All right. This next one really shouldn't take us this long. So this one, you were telling me where are our answers, okay? So our first one, -1, 0, that's this point right here, okay? So reminder, a solid line is good. So this is a good answer, okay? Our next one, 2, 0, well, that's this one, which is on a dash line, which is bad. Dash line is bad. Okay. Our next one is 3, 2, which is this point right here. That's in the shaded area, so that is good. Okay. So solid lines are good, and shading is good. Okay. Stashed, no. Okay. All right. Our next 2 problems is what we've been doing the last couple of days. This is our linear programming. Okay. All right, so first of all, before we start this one, reminder there's several things you're going to do. You're going to shade and graph. You're going to find the corners of your shape you're left with, and then you're going to plug them into that objective function to find your max and your min. Okay. I'm going to do these easy ones first. I see this one right here. I just have x and a number, so that means I'm going to have a vertical line at 0. And it says everything greater than, so that means I'm going to shade everything over here. Okay. This one says y in numbers, so that means I have a horizontal line. And it says everything greater, so that's everything above. So I'm not going to shade over here in these 2 blank sections because I don't need to. And I'm going to shade above. And I'm going to get rid of what I don't need, so that means I don't need this stuff down here. Okay, so all we're left with is our top quadrant right now. Okay. All right, our next line is ready to go. It's telling me start at 8 and then down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Okay. And it's telling me to shade below. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of what I don't need. So that means I'm left with this triangle here. Okay. All right. This one, I notice it is not ready to go. I have to divide everything by 2. So when I do that, I'm going to be left with y is less than or equal to 3/2 x plus 1. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start at 1, and then I'm going to go up 3, and then right 2, and I run into my other line right away, which is really good, so I don't have to keep doing stuff. All right, and this one is telling us again, we're going to shade below. Okay, and again, I'm going to get rid of all of my extra stuff. So all I'm left with is this one right here. So now reminder, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find all of those corners. So I see I have this left, this left, this left, and this left. Okay, so, oh, I got to extend my page. All right, so it looks like I have a point there at 0, 0. I have a point left at 0, 1. I have a point left at 2, 4. And I have a point left at 4, 0. All right, so now a reminder, what you're going to do is you're going to plug it into this objective function here. So I'm going to say 3 times 0 plus 2 times 0, 3 times 0 plus 2 times 1, 3 times 2 plus 2 times 4, and 3 times 4 plus 2 times 0. Okay. This first one's going to equal 0. This next one's going to equal 2. I have 6 plus 8, which is going to give me 14. And I've got 12. We need to write on our test which one's our min and our max. Our 0 is our smallest number, so that's our min. And this one right here is our max. All right, so tomorrow you have to graph lines, find your corners, plug them in, and tell me your min and your max. All right, our last problem is what we did yesterday. So this is the last day of our linear programming. This is our word problems that we're plugging into tables and finding our answers, okay? All right, so this one we're talking about pizza. We have 2 different kinds, and we're talking about their sauce, their cheeses, and their profit. I need everyone to notice that we're missing something on our table. I need you to add in a total column. Okay. Our thin crust will represent our x's, and our deep dish is going to represent our y's. And then we're going to go through this problem and find all of our information. So thin crust, I see it uses 0.75 of sauce, 1 cup of cheese, and we make a profit of $3. Our deep dish, we use 1 cup of sauce, 2 cups of cheese, and we have a profit of $4.50. All right, our pizza place has altogether 15 cups of sauce. So what that means is our company can't go above that. That's all they have. So I'm going to say less than or equal to. For cheese, they have 20 cups. So again, that's how much they have. We can't go over that. So I'm going to say less than or equal to. And finally, our profit. We don't know our total. So I'm going to represent that with a P. Okay. So our objective function, reminder, that's what we're looking to see, what we're going to max or min, and obviously we want to make more money, so we are trying to max our profit. So I'm going to say P equals, I have my X column, so I'm going to say 3X plus 450Y. We used everything in our profit, so we are done with it. Our constraints. Reminder, there are 2 hidden constraints that we have that everyone should always write to me. I'm going to say x is greater than or equal to 0, and y is greater than or equal to 0. Reminder, we need both of those. It ensures that we don't have negative pizza. All right, then I'm going to have an equation for our sauce, and I'm going to have an equation for my cheese. So I'm going to say 0.75x plus 1y is less than or equal to 15. And our cheese, I'm going to say 1x plus 2y is less than or equal to 20. All right, so there's your test. Make sure you view this video and do your supplement. All right, good luck. Thank you.